Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nate and today I'm going to be doing my September TBR. Now, I can acknowledge that my channel has somewhat become a bit of a TBR channel. I am intending to soon hopefully put out more videos. I just feel like I haven't been in it the last few months. But yeah, I'm feeling quite good. This is going into September, into a new season. So yeah, hopefully soon different kinds of videos. But for now, September TBR. Looking back quickly on August, I did not complete my August TBR. I think I read 6 out of the 10 books that I had, so I will be taking a punishment. The punishment that I take is basically I will pick a book out of this little jar. It has different standalones that I own in it, particularly ones that I've owned for quite a while, and I will read or unhaul it in the month. If I don't read it, it gets unhauled. I did this last month because I also failed my July TBR, and I am doing the little added thing though of if I start it and think I'm going to carry on with it and enjoy it, I'm not going to unhaul it. So The Book Thief was the book that I pulled last month. I have not finished it, but I am enjoying what I'm reading so far. So I'm going to keep it. This little extra punishment thing is kind of just a way to help me get through the books that I actually own, especially ones that I've owned for ages, to see if they're worth keeping. So I will be doing that. I also, for some reason, challenged myself in August to read 31 books in 31 days. I did not achieve this. I think I did read like 22 books though or something, which is probably the best I've ever done. And I did really enjoy a lot of what I read. So I had a great time. But yeah, I fell behind in the first week. It was never happening, but I did enjoy what I read. I'm not going to do it again though, or at least I'm not going to do it anytime soon. In September, I'm hoping to participate in 2 different readathons, both of which I will talk about after my TBR board game, which is how I'm going to pick my main reads, and then yeah, talk about them at the prompts and what books I'm going to be reading for all of that. The only other update I think I have is that on my TBR board game, I have changed basically my black squares. Before, my black squares were things that related to like earning points to buy books and all of this stuff. I'm not on a book buying ban. I don't stop myself from buying books. It wasn't really working, so I have changed it and made the black squares complete black squares, and they basically are for prompts that are very specific goals, either authors that I want to read through, big series I want to read through, or like specific like book boxes. So yeah, you will see that going forward in the game. That has changed, but that's pretty much the only thing that's changed. So let's just jump in to our September TBR, starting with my read or unhaul book for September. So I'm going to give this a good shake, and we are just going to whip out this book, which is Good Omens. So Good Omens, this is by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman. I bought this because I had seen the TV series. I've watched season 1, haven't yet watched season 2, which I really need to do, and enjoyed it enough that I saw this in a charity shop and picked it up. It's not one that if I unhauled, I would probably be that bothered about, to be honest, because yeah, I've owned it for a while now and have never gone to pick it up. I've read one book, I think, by Neil Gaiman, which I didn't love. I thought it was fine, but I just wasn't sure I really enjoyed his writing style. So it'll be interesting going into this, and I've never read anything by Terry Pratchett, but I do own some of the other of his books and have been interested in getting into Discworld. So I think this might be a good introduction maybe into that. This is obviously the story based on the TV show. So if the TV show is not faithful to this, I apologize that this is wrong, but this is, yeah, the story of an angel and a demon that basically are BFFs and decide to band together to stop the Antichrist being murdered. I think that, yeah, the Antichrist appears again in the world in the form of a little boy, and they band together to try and save him, either from destroying the world or from being killed. I can't exactly remember. It's been a while since I've seen the TV show. So yeah, anyway, this will be my read or unhaul for the month. I'm looking forward to that, actually. Yeah, like I said, I'd never know when I would have gone to this. So glad that it is being put on for the first book for the month. So now that is all said and done, let's jump in to the TBR game for September. Okay guys, for September, I'm going to be using this little ghosty. Not quite spooky season yet, but I'm getting in the mood. So he's going to go there on start. Our new completely black pieces are down, so let's see if we land on one of them today. But yeah, let's roll. I'm going to be rolling a 12-sided die today. So let's go with roll number 1 for September. And that is a 4. Which is the black space, which is lovely. So that one is going to be Hercule Poirot. So row number 1 was one of the new black spots. So I'm able to show you what I mean when I say specific goals. And so yeah, I got Hercule Poirot. I am making my way through this series, as in I am marching on book 3 next. So I'm not very far in it, which is called Poirot Investigates. So this is a series about Hercule Poirot, who is a Belgian investigator and just about different cases. The first 2 are not told from his perspective. It's told from some random English guy who is his friend and is the one that introduces him in the first one into the case. And then the second one, they travel together in the case. So I don't know if that's going to be the same for the third one. Yeah, I listen to these on Everand. I don't know if the whole of them are on Everand, but at least the first 3 are, so I will listen to the third one on Everand, which is easy. It'll be an easy, nice one to read. What a great start. And yeah, this is a series that I do enjoy them. They are nice, easy reads. I never guess who done it. I never guess any of the twists. So yeah, we're gonna keep trying those. Maybe this will be the one. But yeah, that is the first book on my actual TBR for the month. Roll number 2. A 3 is a white space, which is a free space, so I can pick that at the end. Roll number 3 is, I think that's 5. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is a red space, which is a biggest book on my TBR. So my white, which is a free space, I will pick at the end so I can add anything on to this TBR that I was not able to get on. But I did also get biggest book on TBR. So I actually, in August, added all of the ebooks that I own on my TBR onto like their own little shelf on Goodreads so that I could check these kind of statistics for this game when I do it. And it is one of those books that I will be reading, and that is The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. I know nothing really about this plot other than there are dragons, but not as much dragons as people wish, and it's sapphic. That's all I know. I'm assuming it's going to be a bit of a slow burn story just based on how big it is. But yeah, people absolutely either really love this or just think it's okay. I picked it up because it was 99p and I'd heard a lot of good things about it. It is a bit of a chunker, and I'm not the biggest e-reader person. Like, I have a tablet. It's usually dead, so I will have to make sure I charge it up. And yeah, I always forget about my ebooks for the months, and so they end up not being read a lot of the time. So I'm going to try not to do that this month. It is a big book, but yeah, I'm open to reading it, and I'll probably will see if there's an audiobook floating around somewhere that I might be able to read as well. So yeah, that is the second book on the TBR. Row number 4 is a 3, is BB, which stands for Borrow Box. So then I landed on Borrow Box, and the book I'm going to be putting on for this is Amari and the Night Brothers. I believe this is by B.B. Olsen, and the reason I'm putting this book on is because Meg from Meg Reads is having a readathon this month that I'm going to participate in, and it's basically an inspired readathon from this book, and I think this book is one of her favourite reads, so I thought, why not put it on for one of the months? It works for a couple of prompts for readathons, and so yeah, I can get it out from Borrow Box. It's out now, already waiting for me, so yeah, it will be one I listen to. If I enjoy it, I might go and pick it up. I know it's a middle grade. I know nothing else about it. It might be set at some kind of like secret society or something, but yeah, I literally know nothing about it. I'm going to go in completely blind and just enjoy the ride and see what I think. It is one that I've heard a lot of people that read middle grade mention, and even I think some people that don't read middle grade, I've heard them mention it. So yeah, but I know nothing about it, and I'm quite okay with that. So I'm going to go in completely blind. I'm going to enjoy it. Yeah, that's the next book on the TBR. I've done well so far. 2 audiobooks, which I'm looking forward to, which kind of combats the big 800-page book. So that should be nice. Roll number 5. 7. A green and a red space. So the green is a graphic novel, and the red is to go back to the start. So let's go background to the start. Whew. Okay, I landed on then a graphic novel, but I also landed on go back to the start, which seems kind of classic. I decided to play with a 12-sided die this month, and my rolls have been shorter, and I've hit 2 reds. But yeah, anyway, that's fine. I think what I've got so far works out pretty nicely to go back to the beginning. For my graphic novel, now this is specifically a graphic novel, so a Western comic, not a manga, and I really don't actually own that many. The ones that I own, I have owned for ages and have not read. So this is one of them, which is, I'm going to say Wind. It's book 1, Flight of the Prince. These are the creators. I could not say either of their last names, so I thought I would just show you. And this is one I still have the receipt in it. I bought around Christmas time in 2021. So this book is going on almost 3 years old, and I just have not picked it up. It is the story of our young character here. His name is Wind, and he has magic in a world where having magic is punishable by death, so he has to hide that. And when he thinks his secret is going to come out, he is forced to leave home and embark on a dangerous journey. It does have some really nice art style in it. I always am like a bit, not hesitant with graphic novels, but like I don't feel like I find I enjoy them as much because they're so full on in colour. I don't think it takes away from the story at all, but I think it's just probably because I'm so used to reading like manga where it's black and white that having so much colour, I don't know, throws me off sometimes. But I'm looking forward to trying it and seeing what I think. I believe it's got a sequel that is out. This was one when I was in the comic shop. I think it was like new and it was on display and like one of those ones that I recommended, which is what drew my eye to it. And I think I remember It's been a while, but I think I remember the shop worker saying that it was quite a good one. So I'm interested to see what it is. So let's go again for roll number 6. 2. A crime/detective book. So for another green, we got crime or detective, and for this one, I'm going to be putting on the 4th book in the Rivers of London series, Broken Homes. I will probably end up listening to the audiobook for this, but yeah, this is an urban fantasy series set in London, following in a London copper. He, in the first book, learns about magic, ghosts, river spirits, and all sort, and learns that you can learn magic, and mostly anyone, I think, in this world can learn magic, but I think you might have to have a certain flair for it, and it takes like a lot of training. So the books just kind of follow. So far, they've all kind of had an individual case, but there is like a kind of higher case that's kind of trickling into all of the books that you're learning. Each book's learning more and more about. I think this book's just going to kind of be the same stuff over again, and yeah, but I'm looking forward to it and seeing where it goes. And yeah, I do enjoy this series. I only own a couple more physically, but then I am probably just going to listen to all the others on audiobook anyway. They're all available from my library, and I do enjoy it. If you are interested in urban fantasy, I have enjoyed this. They are adult books. They don't really have like spice or anything in them, but they are sometimes a little gory. But I've enjoyed overall the plots for them, and I think they're interesting, and I don't read a lot of urban fantasy, and so it's quite refreshing compared to other stuff that I do read fantasy-wise. Roll number 7. 2 again, another black, and that is a Cassandra Clare book. So then I landed on another black, and I got Cassandra Clare. This one is one of the, I think, 2 in there that are author specific because they have big backlists that I want to work through. In August, I finished off the Immortal Instrument series, and so we are on to the Infernal Devices, which is Clockwork Angel, which is book 1. I know very little about this. I haven't read the synopsis. I believe it's set in London, and it follows Tessa, who you did meet in the 6th book. And I believe this was actually released after the 4th book in the Immortal Instrument series, so I maybe should have read that then, but I think I'm just going to work through them in series, in like blank chunk series. So yeah, this follows Tessa in England during the reign of Queen Victoria. So yeah, that's all I know. I know nothing else. Don't want to know anything else. Just going to go into it. I don't think it's spoiled too much in the 6th book that I probably retained, or at least was aware of, for it to affect my reading for this book. But I do know that people do quite enjoy this series, I think. Yeah, I'm going to enjoy it anyway. So I'm going to go into it. I can get the audiobook for this one from my library, which will help. And yeah, I'm looking forward to starting a new series in the Cassandra Clare world, because I did quite enjoy the first trilogy in the Mortal Instruments more than the second trilogy. So yeah, I'm hoping to see. This one's just got 3 books, so I'm hoping to see how it goes. Right, I think we're on roll number 8. I've completely already forgotten it. The rolls are very small, even though I'm playing with a D12. So let's go for something bigger. A 4, which is my first purple space. So then I got the purple, which is my spinner wheel, which has my different jars on it. I'll put it up here, and as you can see, I got series. So this is my little series jar, so we are just going to have a little rummage and just pick one out. The first ones we grab, and it is... what the hell is it? Chaos Walking. Okay, the second book in the Chaos Walking series, The Ask and the Answer. This is by Patrick Ness. I did really, really enjoy the first book in this series, and it did leave off, not quite on a cliffhanger, but like on quite a tense moment for the main characters. So I have been looking forward to getting into it. The first book made me cry quite a bit. I don't think the second book's going to, based on what happened in the first book. But yeah, I did enjoy it, and I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes. In the first book in this series follows a young boy, Todd, and he was the last boy ever to be born in the place that they live. It's a dystopian sci-fi series, because after he was born, when he was a young baby, all the women mysteriously just kind of started dying. And in this world, everyone can hear everyone's thoughts, including like animals and stuff, so there's no real privacy. And while Todd is out for a walk one day, he stumbles upon a girl. She shouldn't exist, she should be dead, and it's kind of that mystery. Yeah, really enjoyed the first one. The first one did, some points were a bit slow. It had an element of like a travel element, like a journey. Not my favorite thing, because I find it gets a bit slow and boring, but I don't think that's going to happen again in this one based on what happened at the end of the first one. But yeah, I'm looking forward to carrying on with this series and seeing where it goes. On to roll number 9 is a 6, which is another purple. So another purple, and again, I'm going to be just kind of going on to the next little slice, which means a manga pick. So yeah, I have not actually read any manga in ages, and I wanted to read like 100 volumes this year. That has not happened. So let's pick a good one and see. Ooh, okay. I'm trying to think. That is Sailor Moon, which I don't actually know if I own the next one of, because I own 1 and then 4, so I might have to buy 2, but it will be the second volume in the Sailor Moon series if I haven't read the first, which I think I have read the first. I am just reading through the series, and yeah, I liked the first one, but it was very, very fast paced, and also like, which this is kind of indicative of early like shoujo romance series. But our main character Usagi is 14 and she meets Tuxedo Mask and I think he's like 17, which 3 years if you're in your 30s or 20s, not a big deal. 3 years when you're in your teens, a huge deal. But that is just quite typical of like early shoujos. This was written in the 80s or 90s, but yeah. Didn't love that aspect. Oh, so yeah, I'll probably end up picking up, buying volume 2 and reading volume 2 of Sailor Moon. Roll number 10 is a 3. And that is a book with a pretty cover. So then I got pretty cover, and for that I'm going to be using one of my lovely, beautiful book boxes. I'm going to be putting on Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. This is the first in a duology, and people absolutely love this first book, not so much the second book, but yeah, people really like this book. This is the story of Iris and Roman, and they are rivals working at a like newspaper. They are both journalists. They are rivaling for a position, and yeah, it's set at the same time as like a war is happening between gods, so it has some kind of magical element to this. I have read a little bit of it before. I got to page 57, but I am going to restart because that was over a year ago and I do not remember much of what happened, but it was fine. What I read, like, it was enjoyable enough. But yeah, I think the audiobook for this is on Everend as well, so I'm going to use that. And yeah, it's finally time to get to some of these beautiful book boxes. This is the Fairy Lou edition, which I do think is very pretty. Hopefully I like it. Hopefully I like the second one as well, because I know some people did not. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I believe it's a YA as well. Roll number 11. 7. Another blue. And that is to read my lowest rated book. Then I got the prompt, lowest rated book, which for me is another book box, which isn't a great thing, but it is A Curse of Blood and Wolves. This is by Melissa McTernan, and this was the second book in Fairy Lou's Romantasy series. I've heard nothing but bad things about it, I'll be honest with you. Everyone that's read it said they'd not enjoyed it. My mum's read it, she didn't enjoy it. So yeah, I'm not holding out high hopes for this book. It's a shifter werewolf romance though, but I do quite enjoy werewolves in books in general, so I might like it. I'm being optimistic, but I think I'm going in with like good enough expectations to just kind of enjoy it and see what goes on. Again, this though is a very, very pretty book, lovely sprayed edges, so I'm hoping I like it. But yeah, I'm not confident that I will because I haven't heard great things. It's not very big though, it's only like 320 pages, so it won't be long to get through. And I think again, the audiobook for this is on Everend, so I can also listen to it. Roll number 12. Another black space, so that is a locked library book. So then I landed on another black, which is Locked Library. This is I think a HarperCollins or HarperCollins like diversion subscription box where it's random, like there's not a theme to the box, so it could be anything. And I'm gonna pick Bad Graces for this one. This is by Kyrie McCauley, and she had another book from Locked Library called All the Dead Lie Down, which I actually quite enjoyed. It was a bit of a slow at the start, but it was one that I ended up quite enjoying. So this is also by her. This is a story about a bunch of girls that basically get stranded on a desert remote island and about them surviving. I don't want to read much else. I think it again has a really, really pretty cover, all these different flowers and hands. This has been a good game for trying to get me to read my backlist of book boxes. There's 3 on here, so that's pretty good. I think it's a mystery thriller YA. I don't know if it's going to have any kind of fantasy horror-y elements. In the first book that she did write, there was a kind of magical-esque, supernatural-esque element to it, so I don't know if that's going to be the same for this one, but I'm excited to find out and give it a read. Okay, roll number 13 is an 11, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Purple, and we got another purple. So carrying on around to the next slice, that is my ebook for this month. I did not really love this month's ebook. Like I said, I honestly forget about them. I am going to start having to try and like leave my tablet somewhere. I could read them on my phone, but I just don't want to. So leave my tablet somewhere accessible, charged. So I'm just going to randomly pick one because this is not up to date either. When I counted, let's do that one. When I put all of my ebooks on Goodreads, I think I had just under 100, which was a lot more than I thought. So the ebook is 23 and a Half Lies. I'll put it up here. This is by James Patterson. Never read anything from him before. No idea what this is. I recognized his name and I think it was a new one when I bought the ebook, and so I bought it for 99p. It is like the 23rd book in a Women's Murder Club series that he does, but I don't know if that's like, I'm assuming they're just like standalones. Okay, so I did not read anything about it when I bought it because it's 3 heart-racing thrillers. I did not realize it was like, I guess, a short story collection, otherwise I probably wouldn't have bought it. I don't tend to like short story collections. So it's about someone with an estranged father who is gunned down execution style, and her investigation to uncovers life-altering truths. Then there's Fallen Ranger, and then Watch Your Back. Okay, I'm not going to read the others because if they're short stories, there's really not going to be a lot. But this might actually be easier, I guess, to get through if they're short stories. But yeah, 3 short stories, murder mystery, no idea. Like I said, never read from James Patterson before. Let's give it a go and see what it's like. And then the last roll. So we have a green, which is a European author, a blue, which is a book that has multi-POVs, and read or unhaul project book. So if I can't find one book that fits all 3, I'll have to put more than one on, but they are the final spots. So I ended up picking actually 3 books for the last space. So all of them got their own little book. I maybe could have tried to find one that made it for 2, but I put 3 on. So for the read or unhaul book, I made a video at the beginning of the year where I randomly picked a bunch of books that would have to be read this year or unhauled. And this is one of them. It is called Lost in a Book. It's by Jennifer Donnelly, and it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I think it's a middle grade, and it looks very, very easy to read, like wide margins, big writing, and I don't think it's gonna be hard. So I thought this would be like an easy one to put on here and see what I think of and read. So that is one book. Then for European author, I'm gonna be putting on the next book in the zombie series. This is Zombie Gladiator by Darren Shan, who is an Irish author. This is the 6th book. I read 4 of the books in this series last month, trying to like read 31, and so I got the rest of the series out from the library that I don't own. So this is one of them. So I need to read it at some point to send it back to the library. And yeah, these are very, very small books and really quick, easy reads. So like 220 pages, and they take me about 2-3 hours to read. So yeah, this will be an easy one to put on. And then for a multi-POV book, I'm going to be putting on Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. Now I have read 118 pages of this. I actually started the audiobook for this while I was at work. Quickly realized it was way spicier than I thought it was going to be, so turned it off. But I did enjoy what I read. Like, I liked the setup for the characters. I liked the friends group that we got kind of to see in them, and the antics that were happening. It felt very much like realistic in a sense of like college students, in that they're both kind of sleeping around a bit and they're both like, you know, having their own fun. But I am looking to see how it develops as it goes on. And yeah, especially the relationship, because obviously they have hooked up already twice in what I'm at, but they are not in a relationship. And I think it's obviously, there's like a little chunk left to go. But yeah, I do have the audiobook that I can listen to for this, not when I'm at work, but I do. And so yeah, I think I'll be able to read it. So I think that works fine. So it's chunky. Like, that I added 3 on when I could have just added 1 if I found one, but it's fine. So lastly, I do need to add on a book for my free pick, and I did not get the book on that I'm going to be reading for my sibling book club for the month, and that is Diversion by Victoria Roth. I never read this series when I was younger, and I never watched the movies, but I know it's one people really, really like. I was very much a Hunger Games guy, which I still am, but I think I'm probably going to quite enjoy this, and I think it's going to be an easy read. It's a dystopian, and I know it's about a young girl that goes into a place where you are separated, I think based on personality or something, and then you are like kind of basically put in this box, and that's what you are, and that's who you are, and she's none of them. Or something. I don't know. I know this, like, obviously people really do enjoy this series, so I'm looking forward to seeing what it's about. And I do quite enjoy dystopian YA, so I'm looking forward to reading the books, and then I will probably go and watch the movies and see how they are. This is the final book on the official TBR for the TBR game. So that is a lot of books that I have to read if I want to win next month. I'm always optimistic at the beginning of the months, and I'm always, at least for the first week, like feeling really good about it. By the time we get to day 20 of the months, I am like, I'm done. But yeah, I'm feeling optimistic and positive now. So that is the chunky, you can kind of see it here. That's the chunky TBR for the month of September. But I am going to be participating in 2 readathons for the month, and I think I have to add on a couple books for those. So let's quickly go through them. So first up, we have G from Book Roast's Magical Readathon. It is back. I'm just carrying on with my quest in the Master of the Elements. And so for Master of the Elements, though, I have to read 8 books in autumn. So starting with astronomy, I have to get an O in astronomy, and I have to read a book that was released in your birth month. The year doesn't matter. So I just Googled, went through the years, Googled books released in April, and Divine Rivals was born in April, was released in April last year, allegedly, according to Google. So we're going to take Google's word for it. Divine Rivals will be my book for astronomy. Then for elemental studies, I have to read 3 books because I have to get to D. So for O, Gust of Longing, I need My Favorite Scent in the title cover or the author's name. I am someone that absolutely loves the scent of orange mandarin satsuma. I have body sprays in it, hand soaps, body washes, all of that. So Priory of the Orange Tree ended up working out perfectly. I was going to end up putting on A Clockwork Orange, and so when I saw that that was my biggest book on my TBR, I was like, that's great. A Clockwork Orange probably would have been easier because it's much, much shorter, but yeah, that worked out nicely that I didn't have to add on an extra book. Then for Q, which is Influencing Growth, I need to read a book that is 100 pages bigger than the book you had last read when watching G's video. So when I was watching it, I had just finished one of the Darren Shan zombie books, which are all about 220-ish pages. The Curse of Blood and Wolves is 324 pages. So it's near enough exactly 100 pages bigger. I can't remember exactly which one I had finished reading. I read all like 4 of those books back to back, and they are all roughly within 10 pages of each other, so about 210 pages. So this worked out perfectly, so that I'll be reading for my Q. And then for Distinction, Sparkology, you have to read a book that has sparks on the cover. Amari and the Night Brothers has lots of little sparks and stuff like that on the cover, so that one book works out perfectly for this prompt. For Shapeshifting, I have to read O, which is an animate object, jewelry. Read a book that has jewelry in the cover or the title, which is one of the reasons I put Icebreaker on my TBR. She has earrings on. It is not very obvious. I don't know if you can see, but yeah, she has earrings on. Literally all of my books from my TBR before this literally had nothing, no jewelry. Good Omens does. So either of these two, either Good Omens or Icebreaker, will be my jewelry pick. They're both earrings. Like, Crowley has an earring in here, and this girl, Stassi, has an earring in. So yeah, earring on the cover. It's tiny, but it's what's happening. Then for Restoration, I have to read 2. I have to read O, which is Night Dew, Night Sky on the cover. I am putting on a book for this one, which is an extra one, which is going to be Fireborn by Eislinger Fowling. The audiobook for this is on Everand, and there is a Night Sky obviously going on here. I specifically put this book on because I wanted to read the second book in the series, which I will get to in a minute. But yeah, I do own this one. This is the Waterstones exclusive, so it even has a Night Sky on the sprayed edges. But yeah, this is a middle grade book series about a girl who goes on an adventure. She's given up her name, but her friend is taken, so she sets off on a dangerous journey to try and save her friend. That's the book I'm going to be putting on for Night Sky. Also for Restoration, I have Dangerous Plants, so a poisonous plant on the cover or the title. I'm going to be using Bad Graces for this prompt. There are mushrooms in the cover of this, and I'm sure some of these plants, no idea what they are, but you probably can't eat them, but mushrooms, some of them you can eat, some of them you can't, so that's what I'm going to use for that. And then lastly, I have one book that I have to read for animal studies, which is Phoenix Keeper. A phoenix on the title cover or in the title. So I googled this, books that have phoenix in them or something, and the second book to Fireborn came up. So Fireborn is called 12 and the Frozen Forest, and the second book in that series is called Phoenix and the Frost Palace. So that is also on Everand. So if I like the first book, if I liked it enough, I probably will go and buy it, but I can like read the first book and then listen to the first book of the second book on Everand. So yeah, that is the book. So I'm adding on those 2 books for this prompt, but I do have audiobooks for both of them, so I don't think it'll be too bad. And that is it. I'm not doing any kind of extra challenges for Magical Readathon for this month, just those 8 books. And I think though, I did see someone mention, which I don't know if I've done this before, that you're supposed to read them in order in terms of like your studies. So for any that you have more than one of, you're supposed to read obviously the O, Q, and then D. I don't know if I've ever done that before. So I'm going to do that this month though. So I am going to have to now sit and figure out which ones I need to read first. But yeah, so that is my first readathon that I'm doing. But I'm also participating in another readathon. I mentioned this earlier, but Meg from Meg Reads has a new readathon that she has started called Welcome to Everbloom Academy. It's quite similar to Magical Readathon in the sense that you are like at a school, so you have classes and things like that. And it's just kicked off, so a great time to start. I will leave links and stuff like that in the description. But yeah, the idea is that you are at a school, you have 5 main books that everyone has to read the prompts for, and then you pick a different department and you read a specific book for that. And then there's also an extra elective that you read. And there is also a buddy read that you could read. So like in total, you could read 8 books or you could read 7. So I managed to get all of them, most of them I think, in from this TBR. So I can't 100% remember what the different classes are called, but I will just kind of go over the basic prompts. So for Everbloom Academy, I have chosen to be in the Department of Magical Studies, and for that specific like department's book is to have a book that has nature on the cover. So I'll be using A Curse of Blood and Wolves for that. And then for the 5 main ones that everyone has to do, a book that has good and evil, which Meg did mention most books work for this in some way or another. And for that one though, I'm going to be going on Divergent. I hope that is the idea of like, I guess, a dystopian world. You usually have good versus evil, someone that is trying to like overtake a world, or that has successfully overtaken a world, and someone that's trying to rise up. So I'm going to put that one in tentatively, but other books might also work for this prompt. The next one is a book that features magic in some way. Most fantasy books would work for this, so I'm just going to tentatively put on Fireborn. The next one is to have a book with a map. Again, most fantasy books, but I'm going to use Clockwork Orange. It has a lovely little map of, I'm guessing, London somewhere. Where is it? It has a map of London and then like different locations. I'm guessing those central. So yeah, this will work for that prompt. The next one is you could either have had a translated book or a book with a certain amount of words in the title. I'm going to use translated and use The Sailor Moon for this, which worked out nicely that I had to pick a manga. It's obviously been translated into English from Japanese. And then lastly, a book, I think, with plants on the cover. So Bad Graces works for that. And then I'm going to be taking on the elective, which is dragon and unicorn riding. And so a book that has dragons or unicorns in it. I'm either going to use A Priory Over the Orange Tree because I know it has dragons in it. I just don't know how prevalent the dragons are. Or I might read something else. But we'll put Priory on there for now. So those are the kind of ones that I'm going to read for that. I cannot remember for the life of me right off now, off the top of my head, what the group read is, but I'll put it here. I don't own this. I can buy it on I can buy the ebook and buy the physical book, so I might join in on this. But with everything else that I need to read, I might not. So yeah, in total there's about, I think, 18 books, 19 if I include the manga. Yeah, which now that I said that out loud is a lot. Why do I do this to myself? I think next month I'm not going to be doing any kind of readathons or anything unless one does pop up that I'm really interested in. But yeah, I think next month might be an easy break month. But I am still weirdly confident that I can get it done, like I am every month at the beginning of the month. But yeah, I think there's also a lot of stuff that I'm really interested in here. I'm really looking forward to reading some of my book boxes because I've owned them, like some of them for over a year now, and they're just sitting there collecting dust. So I am in particular really enjoying that, looking forward to that. And I've got some interesting middle grades this month. Yeah, it's a lot. It's been a lot. I've been filming for a while now, and on probably one of the hottest days we've had in ages, which, you know, is why I'm also wearing a jumper. Don't mind me. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Do let me know if you are participating in a Magical Readathon or in Everbloom Academy. Do let me know. Let me know your TBRs. If you guys make TBR videos, please feel free to let me know. I would love to watch them. I am a big watcher of TBRs. So yeah, if you do make videos, please let me know. I'd love to watch them. But yeah, that is my TBR for the month. I don't think I've missed anything. If I have, editing me can fix it in and edit it in. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will hopefully see you soon with a video that is not a TBR video. I do have plans for other content, I swear. But yeah, see you guys soon. Bye.